नीतीश कुमार और नरेंद्र मोदी की आशिकी बड़ी मजबूत आशिकी है। ये लैला मजनू से भी ज्यादा मोहब्बत इन दोनों में है।
ये हिंदुस्तान के संविधान के खिलाफ है और ये उन लोगों की तौहीन है जिन्होंने इस मुल्क को आजाद करवाया तो सन 57 की जंग आजादी हो। मैं इस बिल को फाड़ता हूं, ये हिंदुस्तान को तोड़ने की कोशिश कर रहा है।
He's been derided as a vote katua, the B team of the BJP. He's been dismissed as yet just another regional party limited to Hyderabad. I'm talking about Owaisi. I'm Pallavi Ghosh, and my this week's one take is on the Owaisi factor. How mainstream opposition parties like the Samajwadi Party, Trinamool Congress, the Congress Party are now facing a major threat and almost erosion of the Muslim vote bank because of Owaisi. Asaduddin Owaisi will be very often seen inside Parliament, very tall, wearing a sherwani and his trademark skull cap. He's a lawyer, he has a baritone voice, and he serves one of the best halims in Delhi. And today he's giving indigestion to many of these political parties I was just speaking about. Now, if you look at the track record, he's moved beyond Hyderabad, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar. Now he's looking at Uttar Pradesh, also as Bengal. He's going to be a major vote cutter and a huge threat really for many of these mainstream opposition parties, because what he's now doing is eating into the traditional vote bank, which is the minority vote bank. Now there's a reason why the minorities are shifting towards Owaisi, and the main reason is the lack of trust in parties like the SP, the TMC and the Congress Party. There's an anger against these political parties because the Muslims are feeling that they have just been used. Now, because there's a Hindutva agenda of the BJP which needs to be countered, these political parties have now decided to toe the middle line and in some cases an ultra-right line, or to show the Hindutva face. And that is what threatens their traditional Muslim vote bank. We saw it in the case of Bihar. Surprising results, unexpected results in Maharashtra as well. Owaisi has now clearly moved beyond Hyderabad. Now there are big elections coming up, for example in Bengal. It's coming up in Uttar Pradesh later, and Owaisi has already made it clear that he is certainly going to put up a fight. Now traditionally the Muslim vote bank has often been flaunted by the Trinamool Congress, the Congress Party or the Samajwadi Party, because they also project themselves as a truly secular party as against what they call the Hindutva saffron party of the BJP. Owaisi has taken advantage of this anger among the minorities. The fact that these parties can no longer be trusted, they have used us and they've done nothing for us. Owaisi has no qualms about the fact that he's going to carry the Muslim agenda, because that's what his politics and his party is all about. Yet, he's also showing a progressive face about himself. He's talking about education for the Muslims, better job opportunities, and he's also telling the Muslims that you have been used by the mainstream political parties. Enough is enough, give me a chance. They certainly have given him a chance. Now, how does it play out on the field? What it does, it actually helps the BJP. It adds to the polarization debate. It eats into the traditional vote banks of these political parties, cuts down their vote share, which we saw in the case of Bihar, and is also giving worrying signs to, say, a Mamata Banerjee. There's a substantial amount of pressure on Mamata Banerjee that join hands with the AIMIM, which she may not do in Bengal election because they've also been her traditional vote bank. What Owaisi is telling these people when he goes out to campaign aggressively is, don't trust any of these political parties. They'll use you, they will drop you. They are changing their colors, they are switching their sides because they really want to take on the BJP. This in a sense helps the BJP, as I was talking about. It adds to the whole polarization debate and politics as I was talking about. And then it takes away from the vote share of these political parties. For Owaisi, it adds to his pan-India image. There was a time when no one knew him beyond, say, Hyderabad. He was just seen as a head of a party which was limited to this state of Telangana, Andhra Pradesh or of Hyderabad. But now people outside of Hyderabad, of course, know him. They also see his party as a huge threat and is slowly developing a pan-India image about himself. And that's where the change or the profile of the Muslim voters are taking place. It's going to be interesting to watch out what role he plays in Uttar Pradesh as well as in West Bengal, and the massive hit is going to be taken by the parties like, say, the Samajwadi Party in Uttar Pradesh, the Congress to a certain extent. They are almost nowhere in the state of Uttar Pradesh, and certainly for Mamata Banerjee in West Bengal. So now Mamata is also now being forced to change her tactics. She's now begun to understand that I have to follow a middle path. I cannot afford to lose out on a Hindutva agenda, but at the same time, I cannot afford to lose out on the minority support which she got and which brought her to power for the first time in 2011. But what it does for Owaisi is also giving a larger-than-life image, and no one can take him lightly anymore. I've been asked a lot of questions which I've been asking on the social media. Most of them accept the fact that, he is going to come to play an important role. But the question which I'm often asked is that can Owaisi be taken seriously? Can we have a political party which only projects itself as belonging to one particular caste or creed or to one particular religion? At a time when the BJP is also now reaching out to the Muslims, the progressive Muslims. The Prime Minister, for example, going to Aligarh Muslim University, addressing that convocation. The Prime Minister is saying that how the Muslims have been used and misused by politicians, and therefore, if you want to develop, if you want to have one India in which everyone does well, can someone like an Owaisi do well in such a political scenario? I think for now he can. And I think he's smart enough to understand that you have to move up the political ladder step by step. And that first step has been taken by Owaisi, and he's trying to change the political profile of the Muslims and giving the biggest hit to these opposition political parties.